Closer. Hello. When Christian asked me to be the best man, I was very proud, but I've never been the best man before, so I was a little unsure as to what my duties involved. Obviously, there was a speech to make, but what I did know is that I had to look after the bride's ring. I'm not much of a speech writer or a speech maker, but so like Christian Gentles, I'll just keep this short. Firstly, I like. Oh, no, see, don't know. Right. As Christian's brother, I know and met them most, but what I don't know, I'll just make up. The majority of this speech, however, is based on the truth.
It is. I've read it. It is.
Christian was born on the 8th of November 1974 in Queen Elizabeth Hospital, which is where he spent the first 3 weeks of his life in intensive care. Just until they realised his head was supposed to be that shape. Which was a relief for Mum and Dad, but left the doctor feeling disappointed, as he had already created a name for the condition. But alas, bowling ball head syndrome was never officially recognised. It was a further 2 years before the hospital realised their mix-up, but by then Mum and Dad accepted him as their son, so they decided to keep him. I was born 2.5 years after Christian, but it wasn't until Christian was around 13 years old that I started to look up to him and think, why are these bunk beds shaking so much? I had some theories on the matter, but I never did find a travel set of Yahtzee. But I did find a very stiff sock. I'd like to say that Christian was a loving, supportive, role model type of older brother that every hopeful younger brother dreams of. Unfortunately, he was a constant wind-up who lived solely to antagonise me until I went off like a bottle of pop, which in turn led to a sound thrashing with Mum's infamous slipper. Not just any slipper, this was a flexible, toughened, rubber-soled Marks and Spencer slipper, which Christian would smugly watch. This is probably where Christian first started to develop his liking for S&M. Despite Christian's constant efforts to make me miserable, there were times when Christian made me laugh. Like the time he dived from the shallow end of the swimming pool and snapped his front teeth in half. It still makes me smile now. I will also never forget the day while racing me home for dinner, he came off his jet black rally striker with pedal back brakes, which is like a sliver of plastic in the spokes to make it sound like a motorbike, and broke his arm on a brick while simultaneously sticking his hand in a sufficiently wet pile of dog pee. Which was funny enough, without Mum making a now pasty white Christian eat all of his then stone cold lamb stew and boiled potatoes before taking him to hospital. The only downside to this incident was that all I could think about while trying to eat my dinner was Christian's hand covered in the dog poo, which wasn't too dissimilar in colour and texture to this stew. To this day I still cannot eat lamb stew. As the years passed and Christian turned from a prepubescent teenager into a prepubescent adult, I began to realise that there were a lot of lessons to be learned from an older brother, apart from not to jackknife into the shallow end of the swimming pool. Little germs included, necking half a litre of Jack Daniels in one go is not good for your dignity. Swapping your £50 Levi's for a pair of tights with a woman you meet in a takeaway at 3 in the morning is not recommended, especially when the girl does a runner leaving you to go home to missus in a pair of Pretty Polly's finest. Probably the biggest lesson I learned from Christian, however, was never to poop on your own doorstep. Instead, wait until you're in range of your kid's toy basket. Father Christmas's popularity took a serious hit in the Lanchester household that year. Christian and Jenny have only been together for a year and a half or so, and here they are married. In fact, Christian reliably informed me that only after 3 weeks, Jenny told Christian that if he didn't ask her to marry him, then she'd ask him. Is that true?
I'm not worried about it before.
To be fair, I don't find this surprising, given that Jenny pulled the wrong phone number trick at least twice when Christian was chasing her. He was actually dressed as a zombie when Jenny eventually gave him her real number, which means one of 3 things. 1, Jenny didn't realise who he was. 2, Jenny likes a dead look, maybe in a Ted Bundy way. Or 3, Jenny had somehow heard that Christian will still lick his fingers clean after fishing all day. Christian and Jenny do have a few things in common. Apparently they both snore like trains. They both have a love of pickling, mainly their livers. And they both love animals, not in a Norfolk sense. Now, during the rehearsal, Christian did say the name of the dog when the vicar said, "And do you, Christian, take Jenny?" And he said, "Bonnie." Being serious though, I do love Christian. I'm so happy that he's found his lobster. Apparently lobsters mate with the same lobster for life. I'm not for 1 second suggesting that Jenny is a large pink, big clawed crustacean coveted by seamen. Can I stipulate I said coveted, did not say covered. Jenny, I think we'll all agree, grabbed up alright today. Jenny has also managed to turn Christian, who a year and a half ago was at a pretty low point in his life, into the self-assured, confident, childlessly happy man you see before you today. I hope, Jenny, that Christian makes you as happy as I know that you make him, and I wish you all happiness for years to come. So if you'd like to raise your glasses. Oh, they haven't actually poured any drinks to freaking toast, have they? Organisation to the max. To the bride and groom.
Great!